Echo Mountain. Echo Mountain was my first attempt at model railroading using the fellow car system. This video shows what's behind installing the fellow rail crossing. My first attempt, I blew up the controller somehow, which left me with a static crossing display and no link between the two parts of my layout until I could afford another controller. I put the roadworks crew in to give a story behind the crossing closure whilst rebuilding the new boom gate mechanisms and the reed switches to activate them. Assembling the components is fairly straightforward. Everything's there and clearly set out with, I suppose, reasonable instructions on the actual build part of it. All you really had to do was to try and get everything clicking into place. Now, the gearbox was probably the hardest part, making sure you had all the right gears and that they all interlocked correctly. I put a bit of light oil on it, train oil, once I got everything locked in, and everything just seemed to work like clockwork. The control part of it, once you've got the mechanism in there, is this key part here, which is the lug that goes round to activate the up and down switches for the boom gates. Getting that working correctly takes a little bit of time. Sometimes the brass contacts get a bit bent and the cog doesn't seem to click at the right time, but generally it does all come together. The boom gates are fairly straightforward. I have to admit though, I did snap a couple and had to glue them back, but once I had everything lined up, wired it into the controller and everything just went well. I checked each reed switch before installing them, as they're very susceptible to breakage and easily snapped or contacts broken. I actually broke 4 before I stopped myself from accidentally snapping them. I know you can get IR switches that do the same job, but I'm not that sophisticated yet with my wiring, and the reed switches were as cheap as chips. Running the magnet over once it was installed, just to make sure the wiring was all connected. Putting the reed switches in involves a bit of drilling and work with the Dremel, but once again no drama apart from breaking 1 or 2 when I tried to force matters. Of course, if you're using magnetic reed switches, you've got to have a magnet that activates it. So my trolley cars had to have magnets added to them. And this system works on a small layout as mine, as the same units run on the track all the time. However, on a larger layout, you probably have to have IR detectors. So here's all the spaghetti underneath the board, which I was able to contain, sort out. Made a little basket that slots in through the bars there, and I'm able to remove that when we're transporting. How it looks underneath, obviously the stop magnets in the ramps, the boom gate motors are there, then the 4 lots of flashing lights all linked in. With this project, the trolley cars are on an auto reverse sequence, stopping at each station to unload passengers, with the original idea that everything, including the boom gate vehicles, stopping at barriers and the cars going and everything, would work automatically as the 3 option operations went through their cycles. There was a problem though. Problem number one with the auto return system is that the throttle voltage needs to be high enough to get the trolley bus motors kicking in when the auto reverse sequence times in. Too low and the trolley bus won't start, too high and it's an unrealistic speed. Problem two was that the gates lowered too slowly when activated by the second reed switch and weren't down before the fast moving trolley car from station A crosses the road, allowing vehicles to hit the trolley car. So the only option was to keep gates down after hitting the first reed switch while trolley car enters station A, stops for a short interval and then proceeds through the closed gates when it reopens again when it goes to station B. When the trolley car leaves station B, it activates the next gate in a like sequence and it all goes around again. Basically, we had to neutralise the second reed switch to achieve automatic operation, or we have to get the gates to lower faster. But how do you do that? Would have been good if fella had guidelines for activation switches in their instructions, which are not easy to follow if you're a novice in the area. Anyhow, happy travels. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and leave any appropriate comments. Catch you around.